Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that in the previous lecture, we had started the static part of economics and we have covered the macrostatic part. So in this lecture, we are going to start with the microeconomics. Okay, so let's start this session. So in the previous lecture, I had told you the difference between the micro and the macroeconomics. And I hope that you have revised the facts and figures. Okay. And here I am also going to make it revise for you one more time. So when we are talking about the macro and micro, so basically in this condition, we are talking about the large scale economy. In this condition, we are talking about the small scale. Okay. So in this scenario, we are going to cover several facts like demand and supply. Okay. Or like you can say consumer behavior and other factors related with the microeconomics. Okay. So let's start this session. So first we have the supply and demand. First we have the supply and demand. What do you mean by it? So basically, if this is a person and this is a person, okay, this person is demanding 10 chocolates with rupees 5 each. Okay, so he can offer rupees 50 to the person who will supply the chocolates to him. This was a person who having 10 chocolates and his profit margin is covering within these rupees 5. Then he will be the supplier, he will be the demander, or you can say consumer. So this is the basic phenomena of demand and supply. The person who having the money, who having a will to buy something and who having a certain budget or price to offer for this thing is a consumer. The person who is able to supply this thing to the person who is demanding it, also his profit margin is covering within the range offered by the demander. That person will be the supplier. Okay. So these are the fundamental concepts in economics. Describes the relationship between ability of a product or service and the desire or need for that product or service. Okay. So you can say the availability of this product or service which is being demanded and the desire or need for this service to be paid off. So it is the demand and supply phenomena. Got it? Thereafter, in detail, what do you mean by supply? Supply refers to the quantity of a product or service producers or suppliers willing and able to offer for sale at various prices during a specific period of time. Okay. So basically you can say April to March. What is this? April to March. What is this? I had told in the previous lecture. This is the financial year. This is the financial year. Okay. So during this financial year, this person supplied 100 units. Okay. With rupees 150 each. Okay. So what is the total value of the units which have been supplied? 100 into 150 equal to 15,000. So total goods of valued 15,000 have been supplied by this person. So this is the meaning of supply. Quantity of a product or service that producers or suppliers willing and able to offer at various prices. So he was willing and he was able to supply 100 units at a price of 150 during a specific period of time, which may be the financial year or maybe the quarter or maybe the month or maybe any certain but definite time period. All right. Factors influencing supply. Several factors affect the supply, including the cost of production, technological advancement, government regulations, input prices, and number of producers in the market. Okay. So if we talk about one by one, then first is a cost of production. Suppose the cost of production was 100 rupees, 50 was the profit. Total cost was 150. At 150, he was supplying how many units? 100 units, total 15,000 was the monetary value. Okay, but due to some reasons, the cost have been increased to 150. Again, the profit is rupees 50. Cost become 200 and divided and multiply with 100. Now, 20,000 is the total value of goods and supplies to be supplied by him. Okay, so the cost of production affects the supply as I have shown you here. Okay, the second condition is that technological advancement. Okay, let's suppose with old technology, he was able to supply 100 units of rupees 150. Total 150's worth goods were being supplied by him. But due to the modern technology, now he is able to supply 200 units with rupees 150. Then what is the price? The price is 30,000. Totaling double of the previous price. Okay. So now because of the advancement in technology, the production of goods and services might be increased. And when the production increases, then their supplies also increases as we have seen here. Alright. Thereafter, the government regulations. Suppose if government banned the buying and selling of any particular commodity. Okay, just suppose this person is supplying XY basically to the market, and then the government bans the buying and selling of XY in the market. So what will happen? There will be a no buyer, and when there will be no buyer, then this person will not be able to supply XY to anyone. Okay. Thereafter, the input prices, as I have told you in the cost of production, like if the prices of manufacturing cost increases, then the value, or you can say the monetary value of the supply goods may be affected. Okay. Thereafter, the producers in the market. Let's suppose if there is only one producer, he was offering 100 units at 150 rupees prices, total 1500 was the total monetary value. But if there are many suppliers in the market, okay, then what will happen? His competition will be rise up. Then what he will do? He will decrease the profit margin to 100 or any of the certain monetary value as per the market conditions. Okay. Now, what is the monetary value of the supplied goods? 10,000. What it was earlier? 15,000. Okay. So I hope now you have got the difference. Alright. Now, let's move forward. Now we have the supply curve. Supply curve basically a graphical representation between the price of a product and the quantity supplied is typically represented graphically on the figure. And it is always like in this format. Bottom to top. Okay. Bottom to top. It's always bottom to top. This side, it's having price of the commodity. This side, they having quantity supplied. Alright. So now you can see as the price will rise, the quantity of supply will rise. Okay. So this is the supply curve. Alright. Thereafter, now we have the demand. So basically, demand represents the quantity of a product or service consumers or buyers willing and able to purchase at various prices during a specific period of time. Like I have told you, this is a person who wants to get who wants to get 10 chocolates, rupees 5 each. Okay. So this person wants to get a chocolate in a certain quantity of 10 and he is willing to offering the price of rupees 5 each, or in total rupees 50. Okay. So this is the demand in which we having a certain quantity with certain willingness of price and then during a certain specified period. All right. Thereafter, the factors of influencing the demand. Then the first is consumer preference. Means like if you are having a preference to Coca-Cola, then why will you go for Pepsi? Okay. Similarly, if you want to buy Starbucks, then why you will go to Nescafe? Okay. I'm not showing that any of them is downgrading to any of them is downgrading to each other, but what I'm trying to say is that it's all a matter of preference. Like some of you may have an interest in Coca-Cola, some of you may have an interest in Pepsi, some of you may have interest in Starbucks, some of you may have interest in Nescafe. The first is the consumer preference. Second is income levels. Okay. So in income levels, now you can understand, like if you have an income of rupees 100 and now you can buy 4 items, 25, 25, 25 and 25. Okay. But if your income level is decreasing, then only you can buy 2 items. Like now your rupees 50 is your income, then only 25 items only 2 items could be bought by you. Okay. So that's how the income level affects. In the third condition, if your income rises from 100 to 150, now you can buy how many items? A, B, C, D and E. 25, 25, 25, 25, 25 and F, 25. Okay. So now if your income increases, you can buy 26 items. So we could say when the income goes high, demand goes high. When the income goes down, demand goes down. All right. Thereafter, population demographics, like if the population is 100, then demand will be high. If the population is only 10, demand will be low. Okay. And then the prices of related goods, substitutes and complements. Okay. So what do you mean by it? So the related goods are those goods which are related with each other, either as substitutes or complements. Like first we will take the substitutes. They are the replacement of each other. Okay. So when the goods are used as a replacement of each other, they comes under the category of substitute goods. Let's take an example. Like if the tea's price is going high, then I could switch to coffee, which having low price. All right. So here I have replaced or substituted tea with the coffee. Got it? Thereafter, the next is a complementary price. Complementary goods. Complementary goods. So you can say they are used together. Okay. Those goods which are used together. Okay. Just an example of car and fuel. Okay. phone and charger. So these are the some kind of examples of complement goods which can't be replaced. Okay, like if I am buying a car, so I cannot replace fuel with water in present time. In future, I can't say, but present time, I cannot do it. Okay. Similarly, if I'm buying a phone, I require a charger. It is must, because without charger, the phone will be dead after some time. Got it? So these are the complementary goods example. So just take an example, like if I am going to buy a car, but then I see the fuel prices are going high. So I will not buy a car because of the fuel prices, because I cannot raise car alone. I have to take care of fuel as well. Okay. So this is the example of little goods. Got it? Thereafter, now the demand curve. So you can say, unlike this supply curve in which it was bottom to top. Unlike the supply curve which was bottom to top, the demand curve is basically top to bottom or downwards. Why? Because this side is a price, this side is demanded quantity. Why? Because as the price rises up, demand decreases. Okay. So that's why the demand curve is always downwards. Got it? Thereafter, the condition is equilibrium. So what is the condition of equilibrium? So basically in local language, it is called as balancing equation or balancing situation. Okay. So basically it is the condition when both the supply curve and the demand curve interact with each other. Like in this point, intersect with each other. It is a condition. Okay. So you can say quantity supplied is equal to quantity demanded. Okay. So this is the condition which is called as equilibrium. Okay. Thereafter, we can say when the market is in equilibrium, there is no surplus or shortage of the product. As I have told you, supply is equal to the demand, or you can say if 100 units supplied, then there was a demand of 100 units. It's not like that 80 units supplied, only 80 units supplied and the demand was 100 units. Then there is a shortage, or you can say 100 units supplied, but there is a demand of only 80 units. So there is a surplus of 20 units. So all these shortage and surplus cases avoided during the equilibrium condition. Got it? Now let's move forward. Now we have the price changes. If the price in a market is above the equilibrium price, there will be a excess supply, because I have told you supply is rises when price rises. Okay. So whenever the prices will goes up, automatically the supply will goes up because producers will try to sell more and more so that they could earn maximum profit. Got it? So they could earn maximum profit. Alright? If the price is below the equilibrium price, there will be an excess demand, a shortage, promoting producers to increase prices to capture more value. Alright? So now you can say if demand is in excess. Okay? Because whenever the price will go down, the demand will goes up. In this condition, the prices is down. So the people will demand more and more so that they could buy more thing in less price. Okay. So in this condition, the demand will be in excess. So now we have discussed two conditions. When the price goes up, supply will goes up to earn the maximum profit. While the prices goes down, the demand will goes up to buy more things in less price. All right. These price adjustment driven by changes in supply and demand help markets self-control and return to equilibrium. So basically in economics, what we do, we let the market forces free. Basically, this is the most ideal approach. Like we should free the market forces which are the supply and demand. Besides controlling them, if we let them free, they will adjust themselves within a time period. Alright. Thereafter, now we have shift in supply and demand. Changes in factors affecting supply or demand can shift their respective curve. Alright. So now we are going to talk about the elasticity. Okay. So basically the term elasticity refers to the change. Okay. In economics, the elasticity is basically used to denote the change. Okay. And here if we talk about, then we are basically talk about the price elasticity of demand. Okay. In this entire microeconomics lecture, I have told you many times like price is inversely proportional to the demand. Okay, like if I say the price goes high, the demand will be low. If prices comes down, demands will be high. Okay, this is the scenario we are discussing throughout this entire lecture. Okay, same thing is with the elasticity. Okay, so basically when we talk about the elasticity, then basically we are talking about measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded to changes in price. If demand is highly elastic, small price can change and lead to a significant change in quantity demanded and vice versa. Okay, like we are talking about change in price. How much deals with change in demand. Okay, this is the case. All right, this is the case. So basically elasticity deals with the responsiveness. Okay, like if I say rupees 10 was the price and I was by 15 units. Okay, but now rupees 20 is a price. In the previous case, when I was by 50 units, so technically I was spending rupees 500. In this case, if this is the price, then only 25 units I could buy. Okay, so I have to pay the same price. So now you can say, because only the price is rising, but my purchasing capacity due to my income is not rising. Okay, so I cannot afford to buy the same quantity I was buying previously. When the price was 10, I was buying 15. But now the price is 20, I cannot buy 50. Okay, because my paying capacity is limited due to my income is not rising. Okay, my income is limited. So in this case, I have to sacrifice with the demand. In the previous case, when I was demanding the 50 units, in this new case, I will demand only 25 units so that my expenditure will be the same. Okay, so that are the things which cover under the elasticity. Okay. Similarly, this is the elasticity of supply, measures the responsiveness of quantity supplied to change in price. Okay, or basically you can say supply is directly proportional to price. If the price rises, supply will rises. Price downs, supply will down. Okay. So if you are able to understand the basic phenomena, like demand is inversely proportional to the price, supply is directly proportional to the price, then you can solve any question of the economics with your common sense. Okay. So basically here, elasticity of supply measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded to changes in price. Okay. Like if the price was 10, I was supplying 50 units. Okay. But now the price is 20, then I will supply 100 units because of my profit margin. And the much I will sell, the much I will get. Okay. Now, second thing which we are going to discuss is the market structure. Okay. Now my question is, what do you mean by market exactly? What do you mean by market exactly? Whenever I am asking you about the market, you will start thinking of the common area where you go and you see people are buying something, people are selling something. Okay. Maybe it's a food court, maybe it's a gaming zone, maybe it's some fashion zone, whatever it is. Then you are a little bit correct. Okay. Why I'm saying this? Because unofficially you can say, oh, the place nearby my house where the people come and sell, it's a market. Whether it's a Somvar Bazaar, okay, it's a weekly market, whatever it could be. Okay. But if I ask you about the official terms, then how you can define the market? Okay. So market is basically the platform where people come and sell or buy things. Okay. So basically we could say in official terms, market is basically a platform. It is not necessary that it should be some physical place. Okay. Your website, your e-commerce website, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart, ShopHunk, whatever you are using, these are also the market, because either someone is selling something or someone is buying something, and it's a platform. Okay. So market is basically a platform. Okay. And we talk about market structures. It refers to the organizational and competitive characteristics of a specific industry or market. Describe how firms within an industry interact with each other, degree of competition, and the level of market power held by individual firms. Okay. So market is a place, and market structure comprise all the things like firms' interaction with the industry, degree of competition prevail, level of market power held by the individual firms. Okay. So first we have is our perfect competition. Okay. Perfect competition is basically when there are many buyers and sellers, there are almost homogeneous products, there is easy entry and exit for the firms, and firms are the price takers, meaning they have no control over prices. Okay. And the best example is agriculture markets. Best example of it is agriculture market, because if you are going to the wheat market, wheat is an agriculture product. Okay. There are, you can see many people who are selling the wheat. There are many people who are buying the wheat. Okay. And wheat is almost homogeneous. A and B, if they are selling the same product, then there is almost no difference between. Okay. Thereafter, there's easy and exit for the firms. Anyone can come and anyone can go out. Okay. Firms are price takers. they have to accept the price as per the demand and supply, because there are too many sellers. There are too many sellers and too many buyers. So that's why there could be no specificity to assume the price. Okay. Next, we have the monopoly. Basically, monopoly is like the dominance. Okay. Because only the single seller is there who is dominating the market, either it having the unique product or with no close substitute. Okay. So that's why the buyer has no other choice except buying and consuming the goods and services from the monopolist. Okay. There are high barriers to entry such as patents or economics of scale. Okay. It means that no other player could be entering in the market so easily. Suppose if A is monopolist, then he will try not to let B enter in the market so that his hegemony will prevail or continue further. Okay. Monopolist has significant control over prices because he is the person who controls the supply and you cannot buy the product from the other sides. So that's why he has a full control over the prices. Okay. Local utilities and some pharmaceutical companies are the best examples. And the foremost example is Indian Railways. Because no other than Indian Railways is railway service provider in India. Okay. Third, we have monopolistic competition. Here are many firms having differentiated products with slight differences. Relatively easy entry and exit in the market. Firms have some control over prices due to product differentiation. Okay. Basically, you can say monopolistic market is basically based on the brand name. On brand name. Okay. However, they are selling the same thing. Okay. They are selling the same thing, but the main difference is that their brand name. For example, if we talk about company A and company B, they both are the mobile manufacturers. So the utility of mobile is the same. Okay. But suppose A having a brand value through advertisement, through market consumptions. So what will happen? A will have some control over the prices. Okay. He could charge other prices from B because he could say I having the brand value. Okay. The best examples of this are retail, restaurants and clothings. Okay. The last we have oligopoly. It basically refers to the automobile industry for the best way. Okay. Small number of large firms dominates the market. Products may be homogeneous or differentiated. There are high barriers to entry and firms often engage in strategic interaction such as price war or conclusions. Okay. If you look at automobile industry, first thing you will notice that there is a high investment required. Okay. So due to this, there is barriers to entry in the market. Okay. Thereafter, there are only large firms in India or in any other places in the automobile sector, basically. Okay. And if you looked at their price strategies, then they decide price according to each other. Okay. So that they could avoid the price war. Okay. Like there are A, B, C and D. 4 automobile manufacturers. Okay. What happens? A marks down the price low. In competition, B also done the same thing. C also done the same thing. D also done the same thing. If this cycle continues on further, what will happen? After some time, they are not even capable to recover their production cost. Okay. So that's why they avoid the price war and they decided price as per their interaction, slightly above or slightly lower. Okay. So students, in this lecture, we have finished the microeconomics part. Okay. Just revise all the facts and figures we have discussed in this lecture. We will meet again in the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.